Winter illness updates. Get rid of winter illness updates. Hey guys, it's your favorite YouTube host, Phil N. DeBlanc. October 12th, 2023 is the date. September has passed, and Earth, Wind, and Fire is going on a reunion tour. Shh, I got that inside information from Oprah Winfrey, allegedly. And Lisa Rinna will be discussing her collection of cosmetics. Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat is going to be talking about an upcoming off-Broadway revival of Little Shop of Horrors with former actresses from Fresh Off the Boat. So that's going to be interesting. I wonder what Audrey's going to be, because, or not Audrey, Seymour Audrey. What's the name of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors? Is it number 2? I kind of don't remember. I used to watch that movie a lot. Anyways, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, set in the present day. So the woke version of Little Shop of Horrors coming out. So season 2, episode 28. Don't eat popcorn, people. It gets stuck in your teeth. It causes heartburn. That could lead to you stumbling, falling, hitting your head. It happened to my great uncle Bernie. Just saying. All right, you guys, enjoy. And make sure to smash that like button. All right. And remember, I might not love you, but you love me, and I'm a narcissist.
It's live with Kelly and Mark. Today, actor, author, and entrepreneur Lisa Rinna. Plus, screen and stage star Constance Wu. And winter illness updates for you and your family. All next on Live. Now here are Kelly Ripa and Marcus
Thursday, October 12th, 2023. We're going to have trick-or-treaters pretty soon.
Can you tell how excited we are? We've been working on our Halloween show behind the scenes.
Yes,
It's my first-
yes. So let me ask you, so what do you guys think? It makes some noise because we can't see your hands. And try to be honest. I think people, when we say just make some noise, you agree. Everyone just claps because they want to clap. But how many of you give out full-size candy bars at Halloween? No one. Okay.
Treaters pretty soon.
Can you tell how excited we are? We've been working on our Halloween show behind the scenes.
It's my first one.
I know.
Yeah, it's my first one.
How do you like it so far?
I do like it.
You do?
I've done little bits and pieces throughout the years.
I will say I'm offended at how efficient we've been since you've become a member.
Military
It
operations.
really is.
Can
They're
swing
like,
those.
we have to get Mark out of here. He has a hard out. And I'm like, I have a hard out too.
They don't
but
say
nobody
that.
rushes
He has
for
a
me.
hard workout.
Yeah.
He has a hard workout
Yes.
afterwards.
Yes.
It's fun. I'm not a huge fan of Halloween like you are. You are a lover of Halloween.
I love Halloween.
I'm in the minority, and I'm in the minority. I just don't. People wearing outfits and adults. I get the kids. I understand that.
So for years and years, I tried to get Mark to dress up with me for Halloween, and he just flat out refused. One year, you'll remember, Gelman, we had a Halloween party. Remember the Halloween party? And I said to Mark, we're going to be Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And I said, you can choose who you want to be. And he goes, I'll be Nicole Richie. And do you know what that entailed? Mark putting on his Nicole Richie costume over his clothes, putting a wig on his head, and not shaving or wearing any makeup.
Full scrub.
So he really just refused to participate.
Yeah.
He put on, it was like, when you're a kid and you have to put your costume on and then you have to put your winter coat on top of your costume and nobody knows what you are.
Every year I go as Mark Consuelos.
Right. So he refused. After that 1 year of relenting, he refused. And I would beg and I would plead.
And of course, when you talk about, when you have to put your winter coat over your costume and no one knows who you are, that's just in reference to, you're saying that because that's what you did. Because you just said a couple episodes ago, that you would dress up as a ballerina because you actually took ballet classes, and you would just wear your ballet costume and you would put a jacket over it because you couldn't afford a good costume and you didn't want to make a terrible costume. So you just wore your ballet costume, but then you were embarrassed because you probably had to show your legs and your tush and everything in the cold. And yes, it's cold in New Jersey at the end of October. And so you would wear a jacket. So now you're taking your childhood memory and you're applying it to this non-fictional, fictional situation on your daytime talk show. So why don't you get a little creative with your improvising, or you're fired?
Of relenting, he refused.
You're fired.
I would beg and I would plead and I would say, come on, let's do a group costume with the kids. No. So it'd be the kids and me and Mark as Mark. And then 1 year he had to be out in LA. He was working on a show.
I was stuck out there.
He was stuck out in LA working on a show, and it's Halloween. And as I'm scrolling through social media, imagine my surprise when my friend Bruce Bozzi posts a picture of him and Mark as the cops from Chips in a joint costume. Mark's dressed like Eric Estrada from Chips.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I didn't think that one through. I was actually got excited. Oh, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun Hollywood party.
And I'm posting on social media. Oh, at Mark Consuelos wearing a costume. And now I'm irritated. And so I call him at the party, which he doesn't answer. And that irritates me more. So then I call Bruce and I say, put Mark on. And I go, just so you know, this means war. You will for now until the day we die, because marital vows. You will put on a Halloween costume
Every year.
until death do us
Yep.
part.
So now I'm more into it. I wore one. I've been wearing one ever since.
You wear a mask with your clothes.
No, last year I wore the full jumpsuit. I was Michael Myers, and I wore the whole thing.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
a fun one.
I did.
Wear the whole thing.
I did.
But it's always fun to watch Mark give kids candy because he does it in such a weird way that I'm like, all right, forget it. You don't even understand it. You don't get it.
Trick or treat. Yeah, I like.
You were in it for the candy.
Tell you what they don't want that one. They want that one, and can you put it back? And
Mark has no patience for rude kids. He has no patience at all. He's like, what do you say? And they're like, trick or treat. And he's like,
This is full size. This is a full size candy bar, man.
let's switch topics.
Let's do it.
Ever want to know what's inside your belly button?
Oh.
No. What's in?
How many people here have any belly buttons? Show offs. Any outies? Oh, I'm the only one? Oh, I'm the
There's
only
one.
1, 2,
They barely want to
3.
admit it.
Guess what,
Be proud,
outies?
Kelly.
We have clean belly buttons. 4. Suddenly somebody else is like, me too. So a scientist wanted to know definitively what's inside the belly button, what gets in there. So he used his own. He analyzed his own naval fluff. That's the technical term for it. Anyway, he collected 503 pieces of belly button fluff over 3 years.
Wow.
And he concluded that the abdominal hair was, of course, naturally occurring there. Lint from old T-shirts, dress shirts, and
That skin.
skin.
Okay. Could have saved him a lot of time.
Yeah. People who were male were more likely to have navel fluff. People with innies, of course, were more likely to have navel fluff. And people of older ages.
Oh.
So there you go.
Hey, do you know what plogging is?
Plogging.
Any idea what plogging is?
Plogging. I'm going to say that plogging is when you are in the produce aisle and you feel the need to touch every piece of fruit and vegetables.
Wrong.
Okay. I just made a guess. That's what I would call plogging.
In Italy, it's a race. It's a race to see who can collect the most amount of trash while covering the most
running and collecting trash at the same time.
Italy, the land of uncollected garbage, combines running with trash pickup. Here's some photos. So you run along the nice little road. There's one.
That was the world champion.
There's another one. And so you go, it's the distance traveled plus the amount of weight of stuff that you collect along the road.
You know, Lola would be good at this, and I'll tell you why. Nothing has scared Lola as much as when she's been home for a visit, and she detonates a bomb in her bedroom.
Whoa. You mean she farts in her bedroom and it stinks the whole house up? Are you talking about she is straight up like pooting in her own room?
Good.
Like, hey mom, do you like my new song? I think it sucks.
Road. There's one.
That was the world champion.
There's another one. And so
and girls, they want to have drugs. Oh, girl, they just want to have drugs.
Nothing has scared Lola as much as when she's been home for a visit, and
we're having sex.
She detonates a bomb in her bedroom.
Are you talking about farting?
It looks as though her bedroom specifically has been broken into and ransacked. And then she'll casually leave and go out for the night.
Right.
And I will text her and say, I'm filming your room. I'm putting it on Instagram unless you get home and fix this. And I've seen her plug. I've seen her run through her bedroom, gathering up the mess and the filth and the detritus. And make it all vanish so that I don't post the video on Instagram.
Yeah, she would be good at that.
Mm-hmm. She would be an Olympic athlete at plug.
Right.
We have found her sport.
It's a new sport.
Are you? I mean, you know, this is not something. I am not this person, but I think that sometimes you are this person.
Okay.
People express their affection through food. They are people. Your mom is definitely a person that expresses her affection through food, don't you?
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I think that's both my grandmas and even my dad. My dad, the only thing he really knew, my dad, instead of saying "I love you," what he would do is he'll order like takeout. But here's the thing: he won't say, "Hey, I'm going to order some takeout. What do you want?" Or like, "What do you want to eat? I'll buy anything you want." No. He'll just decide for me what I want. He'll be like, "Hey, I ordered Chinese takeout." That's how now you could tell that I love you and I care for you. That's how I show my affection. I'm not in the mood for Chinese takeout. I just spent $25 on dinner for you. What the hell? And he like, who told you to do that? And he's like, fine. Now all of a sudden I'm ungrateful because he decided to buy food for me that I wasn't in the mood to eat. I'm not even hungry. What are you doing? But yeah, some people like to cook. And, I think it's a big Mediterranean thing. And a lot of...
I am not this person.
Well, you know what it is? It's not even you're a Mediterranean. It's part of cultures that came from poor backgrounds or anyone that had poor grandparents and great-grandparents or lower class, middle class. You know what I mean? You can't just buy cars and houses. You couldn't buy things, but you could cook for someone to show you care for them because it's sex and food. That's the only thing that poor people can offer is sex and food. To show I love you. You know what I mean? Hey, I'd love to sit there and buy you that, $600 pair of shoes you wanted, but I can't. So I hope you like Slurpees. You know, hey, I know that you've been looking at that dress in the window, but it's $1,800. I can't afford a designer dress, you know. But how would you like a Italian sub from Jersey Mike's? But I got you some Hershey Kisses, you know. Want to be fair, so you could be queer.
Detritus. And
Yeah.
make it all vanish so that I don't post the video on Instagram.
Yeah, she would be good at that.
Mm-hmm. She would be an Olympic athlete.
Right.
We have found her sport.
It's a new sport.
Are you? I mean, you know, this is not something. I am not this person, but I think that sometimes you are this person.
Okay.
People express their affection through food. They are people. Your mom is definitely a person that expresses her affection through food, don't you think?
Yes.
Like when she makes something,
It's with love. Right.
And I mean, when I make something, I make it with resentment.
Like here, I whipped this all together.
You know, there are bitter tears of resentment in everything I make. Because I'm like, I suppose I'm the only person here that can cook dinner.
Yeah.
Like that is the spirit with which I prepare things. But my mother-in-law prepares things with love because she loves to cook and she expresses herself. And they are saying that people will pretend that they enjoy certain meals even if they don't like the food because they in turn love the person that has made the food for them.
That's nice.
Or they want a blowjob. I mean, I can't tell you how many ex-girlfriends I've had that had made. I had this one girlfriend one time that made me a Hungarian goulash, and she just winged it based off of some recipe her friend told her about years ago. And she knew that she needed ground beef and Hungarian paprika and the rest she put together. And I didn't get sick. It wasn't like I couldn't digest it. I mean, I ate it, but it was not very good at all. She put a lot of junk in there. I think she put like some olives in there because she likes olives and I don't like olives, but there weren't that many, so I could pick them out, but the flavor was there. Kind of like pick olives off a pizza. You can still eat the pepperoni pizza, but there's that flavor of olive lingering, one of those things. And I looked at her and I told her, oh, what else was it? She put she chopped up anchovies and infused the oil with anchovies. And then she put like 3 types of beans, so it was very legumy. And the ground beef was a little burnt, and it just was not the greatest. But I looked at that woman straight in the eyes and I said, this is absolutely delicious. This is great. Can you make this again? And she was like, really? And in my head, I'm like, no. And I'm like, yes, this is good. I like all the beans. And we had anal sex that night. The only reason I told her that is because I knew that if I told her the truth, there was no way I was getting laid, and I was horny, and I was tired of cheating on her with her mom. So I told her that those beans were not crunchy, that added texture, and I told her that meat was caramelized and added flavor. Those little black bits are flavor bombs. We made sweet love in the anus, and we broke up like 2.5 months later. And that wasn't over the paprika or anything. And that wasn't over. That wasn't over the goulash, but it was over another use of the paprika. But that's another story for another time. And we made sweet anus love. Anus. I think he means anus.
Even if they don't like the food because they in turn love the person that has made the food for them.
That's nice.
70% of people do this, which I am amazed. They lie and pretend they love something when in fact they find it disgusting.
Yeah. I think when you make stuff,
you pretend.
It's always good. No, it's always really, really good.
Really?
There may have been once or twice but you know it's
once
bad.
Or twice.
But you also know this is horrible. And
so basically, what here? Let me translate this to you because Mark's such a bullshitter. What Mark is saying is that a lot of the food you cook, I do not like, but it's palatable. Okay? The only times that the only times I'm honest with you and I tell you that I don't like your food is when you know it's bad. But if you give me bad food and you think it's good, I'm going to lie to you and tell you it's good. So he basically says, my opinion is your food is whatever your opinion is. Whatever you say, dear. If Kelly says, oh my gosh, there's this beautiful cruise in Alaska in the middle of the winter where we get to go hiking up a mountain, that sounds great, doesn't it? Yes, dear. Oh, let's try this like raw sushi dipped in like snake shit. You know, or you know what we should do? We should get cockroaches for our anniversary, should we? Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. I made this haggis from scratch. I have never made it before, but I tried it. Here. Oh, it smells delicious. Doesn't that smell good? Oh, that smells amazing, dear. It smells amazing. Here, try it. Isn't that good? That's really good. She says, "Oh, I made this haggis. Oh, I tried it. It doesn't taste good. You could try it. It's not good." And you'll try to be like, "Yeah, that's not good." See, he just want he all he does is basically tell you that everything you're saying is right. Oh, that's right. You're absolutely right, dear. Because God forbid she makes haggis and says, "Oh, this isn't really good. I think I messed it up." And he says, "No, that's good." What do you mean it's good? You're saying that's good? That terrible cooking? You're saying that's the best I could do? No, 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 dear. It's bad. It's bad cooking. You're damn right it's bad cooking. Son of a bitch.
But you also know this is horrible. And I'm
Give me the meal specifically. Give me the meals. I want to see if we're on the same page.
That you think was that?
Gosh, I can't remember specifically,
that
but I
Kelly
remember we
thought
tried
was
to
bad?
make
Chicken chili? White
mozzarella
chicken?
cheese.
Oh, well, that was a disaster.
Oh, it was a disaster. Homemade.
I tried to make homemade mozzarella
Yeah.
cheese, and
Yeah.
because I had just learned how to do it
Right.
on TV.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
And I liken that to, okay,
Yeah, but
think
here's the
back
thing.
with
If you made mozzarella cheese and you thought you did a good job and it tasted bad, he would have lied to you and said, that's good. Right? That's the thing. You would have been like, I made mozzarella cheese. Look how it came out. It's so good. And then you try it and it's bad. He's going to lie and say, he's never going to tell you that it came out bad or that it's misshapen or it's too wet. He's not going to tell you that. So what the fuck do you want? After 27 years of marriage, you can't just be upfront and honest with your wife. That's fucking
Mozzarella.
That's a big red fucking flag. That shows your whole foundation of marriage is just built on pure sexual lust for your 20-something-year-old bodies. And you have no true emotional connection. The reason why you get together so good on TV is because you have to be fake on TV. And that's easy for you too, because you guys have been fake to each other your whole fucking life. Ever since Michael was born, the last 27, 26 years, you guys have been all fake. Not even, no. Probably since 30, 20, the last 20 to 22 years since Michael got into kindergarten, you guys started being fake to each other because the kid was gone. He's in school, and now you're in your 30s, and you're not as hot as you are. And so Mark learned that if he wants to punani, he has to start telling his 30-year-old wife that she's just as hot as she was when she was in her 20s because that's what she demanded.
There may have been once or twice but you know it's bad. But you also know this is horrible. And
give me the meal specifically. Give me the meals. I want to see if we're on the same page.
Gosh, I can't remember specifically, but I remember we tried to make the mozzarella cheese.
Oh, well, that was a disaster.
Oh, it was a disaster. Homemade.
I tried to make homemade mozzarella cheese, and because I had just learned how to do it on TV.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
And I liken that to, okay, think back with me, everyone. There are some kids here, so you'll maybe know this currently. You know how you learn the algebra equation, and you're like, I got it. I know algebra. And then you get on the bus, and you take the bus ride home, and then
Your homework.
the bus it sucks the algebra out of your brain. You have never learned it before. You sit there with your homework and you go, this is not, I can't remember. I just learned this last period. Why is it gone? That was me with mozzarella making.
Yeah.
I learned mozzarella. Right, I'm pointing here because it's right over there where I learned how to make mozzarella.
Was there...
And I ran home with the rennet and the whole thing, my mozzarella making kit. I ran home across Central Park and I said to Mark, I'm going to make mozzarella.
Do you mean ricotta cheese? I think she means ricotta because I think rennet is like an enzyme that you use to like curdle up like not yogurt, but that's how you make like ricotta cheese. You put like basically milk. You put milk and rennet in together, and it curdles. Like the enzyme breaks it down. It's like a healthy bacteria or something. Don't quote me on that. But you put rennet in with milk, skim milk, whole milk, and it breaks down the ricotta, and you strain it. The mozzarella, I believe, is you just put like the mozzarella curds into a bowl of like not very hot, but hot salted water, and it melts it, and then you kind of have to pull it out and stretch it together and form it, and that's what you're kind of doing. And I don't believe rennet is used for mozzarella. I believe, I'm going to call this right now, I believe they're both mistaken. This just shows that they're going through early stages of Alzheimer's. I believe that they are talking about ricotta cheese. Put in the comments section if you agree with me. I believe Kelly is talking about a time she tried to make homemade ricotta cheese and she messed up. I don't think it's mozzarella. I think it's ricotta, and they're good. I think they'll notice at the end that it wasn't mozzarella, it was ricotta. This seems like the type of thing that Gelman would interrupt and be like, ricotta. And she'd be like, what? Or he would just say, do you mean ricotta cheese? Are you talking about ricotta? Oh, yes, ricotta. You'll be like, yeah. Rennet's using ricotta. Yeah, I'm an expert. I'm in food. Yeah. Yeah, that's Gelman. Yeah.
Mozzarella making kit. I ran home across Central Park and I said to Mark, I'm going to make mozzarella right now. And I got algebra through Central Park.
Yeah. You got algebra. Was there another meal that you were thinking about?
I was thinking about the time I made the bacon. Again, these are things I don't eat. So I made this bacon stuffed meatloaf that...
No, that was good.
Everybody said it was good, but it did not look like the picture. And I remember thinking they're pretending they enjoy it.
No, it was really good. I remember that.
As Casey Cott came over for dinner, and he's very polite, and he's like, this is delicious. And you were saying, it's delicious. And I was like, they're using the word delicious. Delicious is a word I use when I find something really...
I find that when we make each other coffee in the morning, it's made with affection.
It is made with a lot of affection. Yes, it is.
And sometimes you say,
it's so light and creamy.
I'm like, is that bad or is that good? It's a little too much cream, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I don't want a milkshake. It's like he's poured me a cup of milk, and then he's introduced a splash of coffee.
Right. Well, he's Italian and Mexican. Well, Mexicans do coffee a different way, but still, definitely the Italian and the Spanish influence from living in Spain. He's used to making like lattes. They do that in the Caribbean, like Dominicans and Cubans and Puerto Ricans. They're coffee. They'll take a pint glass and they'll fill it up with like 12 ounces of like hot milk, and they'll put in like 2 ounces of coffee. He's used to making a latte.
He's poured me a cup of milk, and then he's introduced a splash dash of coffee. So I'm having milk.
A latte.
It's not even a latte. It's milk.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
All right, now I can decipher your kindness. Hey, listen, when we travel to Europe,
Yes,
and I think a lot of people do, we enjoy the food.
we do.
We have 3 meals. A lot of times with work, sometimes breakfast never happens in real life, but there you have breakfast, you have lunch, you have dinner.
Yes.
And we come back and we're like, wow, we didn't gain any weight
I know.
at all.
It's amazing.
And we really enjoyed
It's
the
a
gelato.
yes.
There's a
And
reason why.
we have the treats too.
Yeah, all the treats, all of it. They're saying it's because there's less processed food in Europe compared to here in the United
I've been saying that
States.
forever.
You guys just talk. You guys have mentioned this before in the weeks past. Now you're just rehashing things you already meant. It's almost like when you guys have something to talk about on your piece of paper, and then you guys go off script and you ad lib, and then you talk about things. The producers take the things that you ad lib about. They take notes, and then they make those ad libs subjects for you to talk about on future episodes. So you're basically doing the work for your producers. That's how they do their work. Like, oh, they're supposed to talk about carnivals and state fairs, and somehow you start talking about funnel cakes and stuff, and that turns into no funnel cakes in carnival or in Europe, and that Europe there's no processed foods because this and that, and they say, oh, that's a good idea, and then they make a whole subject for you to talk about no processed foods, and it was your idea the whole time. The producers are just taking shit you already talked about and putting it at the top of the list for a future episode, insulting the intelligence of the audience, thinking that we will remember that, and it's fucking bullshit. I'm protesting. Yeah, no processed foods, except for the excessive amounts of Burger Kings, KFCs, McDonald's. They don't have Panda Express, but they have Grizzly Express in China. All the KFC, the McDonald's, the Burger King, the Wendy's, the Taco Bells. They have all that. They have fast food, but stuff you buy in grocery stores.
Happens in real life, but there you have breakfast, you have lunch, you have dinner.
Yes.
And we come back and we're like, wow, we didn't gain any weight at all.
It's amazing.
And we really enjoyed the gelato.
Yes.
There's a
and
reason
we have the treats too.
Yeah, all the treats, all of it. They're saying it's because there's less processed food in Europe compared to here in the United
I've been saying that forever, and you just ignore me.
Listen, I grew up in Europe. It's a mantra over there. Those Americans, they eat all the processed foods.
Yes.
So I knew it before I even moved to this country.
Your mom always said she's like Americans, like corn. In Italy, corn is what we feed the pigs.
We also.
As I'm like sitting there like. Yeah, but have you tried it on the cob?
We also walk a lot more. They say you're more active when you're on vacation or running around. And
that's true. We walk everywhere. We go sightseeing.
But that's good news.
But okay. I don't know if anybody here has ever been to like France or Paris or like parts of. Okay. So yes. Yeah. Okay. So same amount of people that have outie belly button. So I always go to those like bonbon shops and I'll buy candy. I don't buy bags of candy. I don't walk around buying bags of candy. But there I do. And it's still like, that's processed. It's candy.
Straight sugar.
It's straight sugar.
Yeah.
But somehow it does not stick to my body or my teeth the way it does. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
And I think it's because...
That's because you have semi-fake teeth, and you go to the dentist like once every 3 months, and you get your teeth whitened, and you can afford like a real good dentist to do proper work instead of the bottom of the totem bullshit that a lot of middle class and lower class people get.
Straight sugar.
It's straight sugar.
Yeah.
But somehow...
We also walk a lot more. They say you're more active when you're on vacation or running around. And
that's true. We walk everywhere. We go sightseeing.
But that's good news.
But okay. I don't know if anybody here has ever been to like France or Paris or like parts of. Okay. So